Good morning, Joy family. Welcome to the Joyful House. Welcome to my playground and welcome to a brand new week. It is the week of November the 10th through the 16th, 2025. And I hope you are having a great start to this new week. Okay, so shall we start off this morning with, first off, it is a little bit early. I've just gotten back from picking up Trayvon from work. I've been taking him around midnight and picking him up around 8 a.m. And we went by the library this morning real quick before coming home. So getting home a little bit later, but that's okay. Getting an early start to our playground video. So, hey, it's already an awesome morning. Hope yours is as well. Before we get started here, I want to wake us up and express our joy. You know, no matter what we're going through, no matter how our week has started off, no matter how last week ended, you know, there are always opportunities to find our joy. And the best way to do it is just to have a mindset that we are going to dive right into our joy and let our joy tanks overflow. So if you will, I want us to take a moment to express our joy and then roll right into wishing a happy birthday to all of our friends that are celebrating birthdays this week. And just a quick reminder, if you don't think I have your birthday, please let me know in the comments below, or you can look in the description box or on my about page for my email. And send me a quick email and let me know when your birthday is, just so I can make sure that we are celebrating it the whole week of your birthday. Now, I understand and respect that not everybody celebrates birthdays. So if you're one of those, then of course you don't have to do that. But it is entirely up to you. So we're going to celebrate birthdays, and the birthdays that I do know about this week are Pam from Be Creative Crafts, Dianne Major, and Lori Armstrong. So we'll also take a moment to sing happy birthday to Pam and Dianne and Lori. And then I have a Joy Team member that is celebrating their 2-year anniversary. So we're also going to recognize them for that. And if you are new here in the Joyful House, a Joy Team member is a paid member that chooses to pay and support the channel every month with a little monthly, contribution. And so I like to call them Joy Team members because I like that so much better than paid members. So let's go express our joy, sing happy birthday to Pam, Dianne, and Lori, and celebrate Miss Paula on her 2-year anniversary on the Joy Team. Well, I hope you expressed your joy and you feel a little bit more joyful than what you came into the Joyful House with this morning. And thank you for helping me celebrate Pam and Dianne and Lori's birthday with them. And also thank you for helping me celebrate Paula and her 2-year anniversary on the Joy Team. Okay, so let's take a recap from last week. Now, I told you I was going to diligently work on the Stranger Things blanket, so I'm going to get the ugly news out the way first. My friends, that did not happen. Grandma Joyful, Todd's mom, Miss Faye, she had 5 appointments last week, and technically there was 6, but we were able to cancel 1 because she absolutely did not need it. But she had 5 appointments, and then we had an appointment with Safe Light coming out to replace the windshield on my car Saturday. So it has been a crazy week, to say the least. But it was a good week because we got lots of good news. She's been released from physical therapy. She's been released from palmetto bone and joint. She does therapy twice a week. She's been released from palmetto bone and joint, and we were able to get her switched over to the local doctor, so we don't have to drive her an hour away for her doctor's appointments anymore. And that doctor was very pleased with her progress and has asked her to come back in 4 months. So yay for that. But she does have physical therapy that comes out twice a week, and she has a nurse that comes out to check on her 1, maybe twice a week. Right now, it probably will go back to being once a week because she is doing so well. So happy for that. That's such a great praise report. In the meantime, around all of that, Mr. Joyful and I have been working on my computer, and he worked on it Saturday for 9.5 hours. And at one point it wouldn't even turn on. On top of that, let's see, I worked on a project that I've been commissioned to make and making lots of progress and almost finished with that. I'll be sharing updates of that this Thursday at the tea party. And just a reminder that at the tea party this Thursday, we will also be spinning all of our wheels, so I hope that you will be there for that. And trying to see what else was going on. Laundry. There was lots of laundry being done. And I was working on a couple of projects that I am collabing with some ladies in December. And I've shared a little bit about that already, but I am doing this with Pam from Be Creative Crafts, Nancy from Nancy's Little Treasures, Kimberly with Pajama Quilter, Connie with Just Another Stitch, and myself. So those were where my focus was, but I will tell you, I also got things all caught up on the channel, and I'm a week ahead. So this week, my friends, in fact, as soon as I finish here, that's exactly where I'm headed, is to the craft room to work on Stranger Things. So, I don't like making promises, but I promise you, you will see some pictures next Monday. All right. If not, then I'll do something special because I broke a promise. All right. So thank you for giving me the grace of one more week. I do have something that I want to show you. I actually picked it up off my parents' driveway the last Wednesday that I was there. We have decided that the first Wednesday of the month, since that week I kind of take off from the channel to, do channel work, especially to work on projects that are going to be coming up. I don't like to wait till the last minute to do things, so I like to start ahead of time. But I like to do it in little baby steps, especially if it's a big project. And so anyway, I didn't go Wednesday of this past week, but the Wednesday before when I was there, fall was definitely in the air, and signs of fall were definitely showing. The leaves were already changing into their vibrant, beautiful fall colors. They were falling from the trees. And right at the back of my hatchback, when I was putting my crochet bag and my cooler bag into the car, I looked down and I saw this leaf and I picked it up. Now it's dyed a little bit up here, but it's just where the darker color, and it's dried. So it is definitely dried out, but I picked it up because I just wanted to share, this is part of the reason I love fall so much, is I love the vibrant, fall colors, the reds, the oranges, the yellows, even the burgundy that you see at the top of this leaf. But I just picked it up to say, welcome and happy fall. Now, starting of this week, it's going to be in the freezing temperatures, so it doesn't feel like we have fall anymore. It feels like we're swishing right into wintertime. But anyway, I am glad that this has dried really well because I'd like to hang on to it. It's been sitting here on my desk for 2 weeks now, and it's just a kind of a reminder to me every time I look at it that, fall is just another fresh start to a new season. But this is dried so perfectly. I'm thinking about maybe even making a bookmark out of this one. I don't know. So that's a thought. I may try to look for some more out in the yard and at my parents' house and put them aside and let them dry out and make some fall bookmarks out of them. So anyway, welcome to fall, although I feel like winter is knocking at our door. Speaking of falling leaves, I do have some pictures I want to share with you, but before I do that, I have another picture I want to share first. So Friday night after our, Friday Night Delight on Friday night movies, Miss Grandma Joyful, Miss Faye, she watched those with us, but as soon as they were over, she said she was tired and she was going to bed, and so she went to bed, and so by the time it rolled around to 11:30 for me to start getting ready to go pick up Trayvon and take him to work, Todd decided to ride with me. And so we took him, and on the way home, we passed this park that's just down the road from our house. And in fact, it's right beside where the boys went to Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. But it's a little park, and it's a Frisbee park. And, you walk around and you play Frisbee, and you are tossing the Frisbee into these little baskets. And there's a name for it. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, as we're riding by, the basket that sits very close to the road, there was a barn owl sitting on that basket, and it was just so cool. And since it was so close to the road, we went up the road and turned around and came back and took a picture so that we could share it with you. Now, as you know, owls have really great eyesight because after all, they have night vision. And so even though we were using the night vision portion on the camera, he could see that infrared light or whatever, and it did end up scaring him, but not before we got a great picture of him. So it was really cool. When he got scared, he went into flight mode, and we got to watch him fly, and that was just magical. But anyway, I want to take a moment and show you this picture of this barn owl. So enjoy this little fella. Enjoyed him. I thought it was really cool and so grateful that we got that picture to share with you. So I mentioned falling leaves. Saturday, we had quite a downpour, and then it would stop, and then it would come back, and then it would stop. And luckily, it had stopped right before it was time for me to go pick up Trayvon to take him to work. And so Mr. Joyful walked out with me because Grandma Joyful was still up. So we didn't want to leave her at the house by herself, even for a moment. Not yet. She's not ready for that. But anyway, so he walked out with me, and oh my gosh, we knew it had been downpouring, but did not realize the extent of it. In fact, later on in the evening, or I guess in the morning, we woke up and heard the tornado sirens going off. So they had released the tornado warning sirens. But anyway, when we walked out, there were leaves everywhere. The yard was just kind of, covered with leaves. So I've taken some pictures of those, and there's some that are at night, and that is around 11:40-ish on Saturday evening. And then Sunday morning, when I got up to go get Trayvon from work, since Grandma Joyful was still sleeping, Todd did ride with me, but we were able to get some pictures of our yard in the morning time, and it literally was blanketed with leaves. Mostly coming from that tree that you usually see us take pictures of my makes in. So it's pretty naked right now. It's kind of sad, but but nonetheless, the blanket of leaves on the yard was quite beautiful until it won't be. But and we have to rake them up. But on the way there, on a nearby house, there was a tree that undoubtedly the lightning had struck and caused it to split and fall over. So I have a picture of that for you as well. So enjoy these pictures. Enjoyed those, and if you want to send in some pictures of what fall is looking like where you are, that would be awesome, and I would love to share them out here on the channel. Before we talk about our Chase the Fun for this week, I have something that I do want to share with you that I did do last week and shared it with you. I recorded it, and that was the yarn unraveling game that I play. It's been a while since I have shared one of those with you, but it was of a duck. And we all know that we have a duck friend here in our joyful family. And so because of that, I was like, ooh, I need to share this one. So let's just go have some fun, and hopefully I can actually successfully unravel it all. And so here is that for you to enjoy. Hello, Joy family. It has been a while since I have done an Unravel Master with you. And when I saw this one on the duck, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to do this one with the joyful family, because we all know we have a friend who just loves ducks. And so I am sharing this fun with all of you, but we are going to do this duck together in light of our friend that does love ducks, and that is our wonderful wandering Wanda. Wherever she may be traveling today, I hope that she knows that we are always praying for her safety on the road. But anyway, shall we get started? Let's unravel our duck. How much fun this is going to be. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so we can get this a little bit more up close. All right. And that way you can see exactly what I am doing. And if you've never played this before, the little blocks up here, they show you what color of yarn to unravel. And so we've got a yellow box and a white box. So I need to do yellow and white. So we're just going to randomly start picking and watch the yarn unravel. And now we're going to do some white. Do one of those little balls. Oh, we got another yellow one. So let's do some more yellow. And I always like to kind of skip around. There's some white there. Maybe try and do that little rim. And these little circles down here are, they collect the yarn, especially if you choose a color that is not one of these boxes up here. But if you fill them all up, game is over. You have to start over. All right, so we've got yellow and orange. So let's do yellow. And I'm going to turn this around. We've lost our whole face of our duck. But let's see. Let's go ahead and try the beak. And there's another one under it. And let's do one of the feet. More yellow. Another box of white. I'm going to turn this upside down and see what we've got. Let's do one of the whites underneath here. And then let's do this little string of white there. And again, we've got yellow and white again. So let's continue on the head here. And maybe let's flip over and do one on the bottom. All right, we've got white again. So let's turn it and let's work on the white over here. Excuse me. Got yellow and orange. So let's see, we'll do the one on the head there, and let's do some on the underneath side here and expose some of this other yarn. All right, grab some orange, the foot, so the feet are all gone. Some more yellow, let's do some on the underneath side here. Now we've got some red. And let's see, let's go do one over here. And now we're on to blue. So let's do some on the underneath side. Back to yellow. So we'll grab this leg. We'll do the tail, up the other side of the tail. And we're back to blue. Let's see, let's do this one here. Let's see, let's get in here and do this one. And let's see. We'll do the face. More white, so let's do the beak. And let's do the neck down in here. Now purple, my favorite color. And back to orange, so we'll grab the beak. And over here. And green, first time doing green. So let's grab this one. We'll grab the leg down there. So the legs are completely gone. All right, some red. And if you'll notice over here, I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see. But it lets you know how many unravels you'll do. We have 240 to do, and it says we've only done 65. So we still got quite a ways to go. All right, let's do some more purple here. And let's do the neck. Oh, and we had one more red. We'll do this one right here. All right, green. And brown. First time doing brown on this duck. Back to yellow. Some more white. More red. Okay, back to orange. Let's see if we can get down in there. Purple. Green. Blue. Lots of blue up here on the head. Okay, more green. And brown. Okay, yellow. I don't see any more yellow, so we're gonna wait. We're gonna go to green, since that's our other box. See if we can reveal some yellow somewhere. We did not, so let's see what our next box is. More green. There's a yellow. And let's do that one. Excuse me. Purple. Oh, my lunch alarm going off. And white. Still no yellow revealed, so we're still looking for a yellow. All right, we'll do this blue. Have a lot of blue. Okay, still no yellow, so let's go to the red since that's the next box, and hopefully we'll unveil a yellow. Still no yellow. All right, back to white. All right, we got white here. And we've got this thing of white. That is all the white I see. So we have two options. We can try some of these other colors to unveil a yellow or white, or we can try and open a new box. You have to watch an ad to open the new box, so I don't like ads. So I'm going to try to do a couple of these, and I usually do about 3 to see if I can expose a color, and we did not. So I don't want to fill all those up just yet. So unfortunately, my friends, we have to watch an ad. Yay! Well, the game itself is very stress relieving. Ads are not stress relieving for me. But as I like having them on my channel to help me get paid, somewhere someone else is getting paid, so we'll share the joy. And it says we can go ahead and click that arrow off of that. And counting down over here. And we should be able to get our box now. And we did, and we got a brown. So let's go see if we've got some browns. And we do. Hopefully one of these is going to unveil yellow or white, and it did not. But we've got a blue, so let's just keep going, and hopefully we'll unveil something. All right, orange. That white and yellow are hiding deep, aren't they? Ooh, there's a white, so that's going to open that other box for us. So we now have blue, yellow, and purple. So let's go ahead and do some blue here. And our beak is officially gone. Our poor little duck is looking funny. All right, let's try some purple. Still no yellow, but we have orange and green. All right, another orange. And that's all the orange I see. Got one little green here. All right, no more orange, green, or yellow revealed. So we're going to try and see if we can open some up and find them. There's another orange. That's going to give us another box. And brown. Ooh, and there is our yellow finally. All right, so we've got white, red, and green. Let's grab some of these reds right here. Okay, that did not give us any greens, but we do have one white. All right, we still got a brown there and a brown there. Whoop, that gave us another white. We're now at 168 of our 240. A lot of yarn left to unravel. Let's see. I don't see any more brown, white, or green. So let's just see if we can reveal anything. Nope. Not there. Let's try this red one in the front. And there's a brown. That's going to give us a new box. And we're doing more brown, so we'll do this one. All right. Let's see. We've got only one hole left. And if we choose one of these and it's not a white, brown, or green, then the game is over. So we're going to go try and open this box. So that means we got to go through another ad. And of course, since it's lunchtime, they're going to show us a food ad. All right, and now we can move forward. And we've got purple. And there is our white. So now we have red, brown, green, and blue. Let's do any reds that we can. There's our the brown to finish that box. And that gave us another red box. So purple. I see another purple on this side. All right, red is next. Green, I only see one green. So we'll do that for now. We've got blue. And we're back to brown. You don't have to do these in order. So like I've got those two browns, I can hit that brown, or I can go over here and hit the blues and close that box out. You don't have to do them in order. All right. I don't see any more purples. Let's go on to the orange. And I do see a green. So this one or this one? Let's try this one. All right, next is blue. Our duck doesn't look like a duck so much anymore. All right, orange. Oh, and I do see a purple, so let's go grab that purple. Finish out our orange. Next we had brown. And I don't see any more blues out, so let's go do the whites. We are at 212 of our 240, so we're getting close. All right, let's do purple. No more purple, so let's go to the red. And that's going to give us a new box. All right, I don't see any blues, so I'm going to go over to the orange. And that's going to give us another box. This is all good, good, good. Looks like we might be able to finish this one. We have 20 colors of yarn left to unravel. All right, let's do our reds here. And that's the only one I see. I don't see any purple, but I do see enough green to finish this off and give us another box. And there's our purple, so we'll go ahead and get that. And that gave us a green and a brown box, so we can hit on these. Our brown is full. All right, we're down to 10 left. We can do this. All right, let's see. There's a red. There's a green. All right. 8 more. We can do this. And that's going to finish up our brown and purple boxes. So we're down to just 2 left. We've got this, my friends. We have successfully won this game. And that's the last of the blue. And there is the last one with the red. And we have done it. Great job. And you can see my win streak also. So, yay! And just out of curiosity, ooh, our next one. That is what it is, some Oriental noodles. All right. Well, I hope you had fun playing this with me. I have enjoyed this. I am currently on level 100 right now. How about that? So y'all just completed level 99 with me with that duck. And of course, across the top here, it shows us the last games that I played. And there's the duck that we just did. And now here's the Oriental noodle soup or whatever. So how fun. Well, we will do this again sometime. Okay. So last week, Annie encouraged us to chase our fun by being an amateur at learning and told us to focus on things that we could learn and, reflect on them. And so our challenge was, what is one thing that we are learning right now? Well, you guys, I feel like I'm always learning. I feel like I never stop learning. And I think that's probably a good thing, because we really truly don't ever know it all. We might be skilled in something. We might be knowledgeable in something, but I feel like there's always more to learn. And right now, I think the biggest thing that I am learning is not something so much physical as it is more probably mental and emotional. I consider myself to be a very patient person. Even if I'm running late, because I feel like that's my fault. If I didn't leave in enough time or I didn't plan well and I'm headed out late somewhere, it's my own fault. So even in those moments, I feel like I'm pretty much a patient person. But I'm realizing that there are levels of patience. And some are easier to learn than others. Others are harder to obtain. I think the biggest level of patience that I'm having to learn lately is within myself. I get extremely irritable and impatient with myself, whether it's my limitations or how much I tend to pile on my plate. I sometimes allow myself to take on tasks like I am superhuman, and I am not superhuman. So I am learning to be a little bit more patient with myself. Sometimes I'm finding myself, even though I normally have the gift of patience with others, we live in such a society that is like a Burger King mentality. No offense to my younger son who's working for Burger King right now, but we want things our way right away. And when it doesn't happen, we become impatient. Like Saturday when Todd was working on my computer, I kept reminding him, I have a live. And what time that live was, I had my Eagle live with the top 2 tiers of the Joy team. And finally, about an hour and a half away, I said to him, you know what? I have a great group there. And if they know that you are working on my computer, they will give me the grace to cancel. So you do you, because after all, at that point, he had already been working on the computer about 8 hours. He'd given up a good bit of his Saturday, especially after dealing with Safe Flight, which he didn't have to do a whole lot with Safe Flight, but just, go out and give him the keys and go out and get the following instructions afterwards. But he then gave up his almost entire Saturday to work on my computer, which hopefully Elsa will no longer come into the joyful house. No offense, Elsa. That's our prayer. But I was like, you know what? What's meant to be will be. And I do plan on making that live up for them. But it's like, take a deep breath. Everything happens in its time and for a reason. We may not see what might have been ahead, but I need to learn that perhaps God is saving me from something that I don't need to experience or somewhere I don't need to be in that specific moment. That if I rush to make things happen and I lose my ability to be patient and just enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, I might miss something, or like I said, I might put myself in a place that I didn't need to be. So I am learning to be even more patient than I already am. So again, I'd love to know what you're learning. Maybe it's a skill. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe it's like me, patience. Maybe you're learning to love yourself and love others. Maybe you're learning to forgive. I mean, there are all kinds of things that we can learn. Maybe you're learning how to make a new recipe. I would love to know. But if you're ready, it is time for us to put last week behind us and dive fully into this week and chase our fun. So let's chase our fun and see what Annie has for us this week. increasing our fun, Annie says, be an amateur in your own physical health. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22 says, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Annie says, I feel like I am my own favorite science experiment. After a few decades of trying to change my body and get it to look a certain way, I found freedom from that, and I have a new mindset. I realized that I have an unrealistic expectation of my body. It was to the point where even when I hit a goal I had set, as soon as I looked in the mirror, I would see a handful of ways to continue changing my body. That's a different thing to me than improving my physical health. So I'm on a journey to improve my health, not to force myself to be a certain size or to spend lots of time trying to look younger than the truth my life calendar tells, but to have fun being an amateur in my own health journey. Yes, I have lived in my body every day of my life, which should make me an expert, but I am not. Every day is a new day in my own skin, and every day is a new challenge to choose the right nutrients and exercise and get the right amount of rest in order to be healthy. Some people are experts in muscle tone or calorie intake. Some people are experts in medicine or healing supplements. I respect all of their wisdom and I need it in my life. But none of them have lived in my body. None of them know what it feels like in there. They can tell me to lean on certain food groups and stay away from others, but they don't know how it feels to wake up with more energy and alertness that are directly connected to what I ate the day before. Their wisdom and expertise are really important, and I trust the professionals I have invited to speak into my own physical health. But it's really fun to try new things, whether a new recipe or a new walk outside or a new class at the gym. Remember that the goal is not to reach a certain body size or shape, but to have fun for your whole life. Stay as healthy as possible. Try many new things as you learn and grow, and celebrate all the things that your body can do today. So, are you ready for our Chase the Fun challenge? Chase the Fun challenge this week is, what is one new way you are thinking about your physical health today and this week? So what is one way you are thinking about your physical health? So I actually have a couple things that I have begun in the last week or two that have been changing about how I view my physical health and some things that I've been doing. So I will continue to do those for the next 7 days, and we'll come back and share that next Monday with you and let you know if I think they're working. So yeah, they're definitely beginning to become a habit now, because you know it takes, 14 days for something to become a habit. So I'll be interested to see how the progression continues over the next 7 days, and we'll give you a report. And who knows, maybe this week I'll even learn something even newer that I can try. So I am on this journey with you, my friends. Before we head out, I have some folks that sent in pictures of them and their family chasing their fun. So I want to say thank you to Sanja and Connie for sending those pictures in and sharing them with us. I encourage all of you to send me pictures of you chasing your fun in some form or fashion. Remember that here on our playground videos, every picture you send in gets you 2 entries on the Tea Party giveaway wheel. And just a quick shout out reminder that we will be spinning those wheels this coming Thursday at the Tea Party. So hope you can join us at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that wraps us up for this week. So thank you so much for coming and doing a recap of everything that happened in the Joyful House last week and everything that we know of coming up this week. I'm excited for the adventure and the journey of this week and all that it's going to unfold. And I can't wait to come back next Monday and tell you all the fun and all the joy that we had here in the Joyful House. All right. Enjoy these pictures and take care. Have a great week. Be joyful, my friends. Be the joy in everything that you do. Stay crafty in your own way. Make your own joyful creations. And nugs and joy. Mwah. I love you. See you next week.
Hi guys.